What is happening, sports fans? It's your main man, Matt, from the DFS 5-pack. I'm rocking it solo. It is Monday, May 9th. We got 9 MLB games to talk over. I'm excited to get back on here and talk some MLB with you. I know I've made one video since I've been back, but I was out for a couple weeks. My wife had a baby. I am currently watching the baby right now, so figured I would just do one video, members only for the public, and get back into the dual videos later this week. Again, 9 games to talk over, some really good pitching options. Before I get into the baseball, let me shout out our promoter real quick. So ABC Islands, for those of you who haven't checked it out, I encourage you to do so. The link and the promo code will be in the description section of the video. It's a really cool new site. I know a bunch of people have already gone on there and won some money. So again, I recommend and encourage everyone to check them out. It's ABC Island, and the link and promo code will be in the description section, as I mentioned. That being said, let's talk about this slate. 9 games and good pitchers all over it. All right. Should be good to go with sharing the screen. So as far as pitching options go, starting up top, Carlos Rodon having a really, really, really good year. Struggled a little bit last time out against the Dodgers. I mean, that's the Dodgers. That'll happen to even the best of them. He looks great here in a elite spot against the Rockies away from Coors. So a ton to like about Rodon here. He's getting a lot of love, and it makes sense. I don't think you necessarily have to roster him just because there are really good pitching options up and down the pricing tiers. So I like Rodon a lot, but I don't think you necessarily have to play him. Although in cash games, I'd struggle to get away from him given the ownership he's garnering. Mckenzie Gore has been more solid than spectacular. I've been impressed with him. I have him in my big season-long league. I'm impressed with the fact that he's throwing so many pitches of late. Good spot at home against the Cubs. I mean, he's in play for me. Hard to see myself prioritizing him just because I like Rodon more, and they're basically the same price. But if you compare them together, I don't mind that. And if you want to, get different with Gore in tournaments, I get that as well. Michael Kopach also having a really good year. I'm not going out of my way to face the Indians. They don't strike out a lot. Their lineup isn't amazing, but it's not awful either, especially for opposing DFS pitchers. They make you work. They got one of the best hitters in baseball. So I like Gore a little more than Kopach, and I like Rodon more than Gore. So I doubt I get to Kopach here, although I don't think he's a bad play, especially because he's not getting any love. Woodruff looks great here. Just face these Reds. The Reds have been a little bit better the past couple of days, but still probably the worst offense in baseball. Struck out 12 of these guys last time out. He's too cheap at 9,300 and looks great in all formats. He's getting love, not as much as Rodon. At their price points, I mean, I think I wouldn't fault anyone for saying that Woodruff was their top guy. Probably prefer Rodon, but the 2 top starters on the slate in my eyes. Ranger Suarez, not interested. He's not going to get love, so that's the one thing you can say about him, but I like the Seattle Bats more. Luis Castillo is interesting. Threw 76 pitches in his last rehab outing. Probably not going to get a full workload from him, which is ultimately takes me off of him, but I'm a big Castillo fan, and I think he's going to have a good year this year. So I don't think he's crazy in tournaments. Alicia Hernandez, no thanks, although just used him in the same spot last time out at home. He has not been great. Arizona doesn't scare me at all. He's just a little too expensive, especially more expensive than Julio Urias. There is no reason for Urias to be so cheap. It seems trappy, so I don't think you have to use him because there's so many other good pitchers on the slate. He is getting a lot of love. He's coming in as the chalk SB2 with Rodon. I prefer Woodruff over Urias even at their price point, but Urias is too cheap. It does feel trappy, though. Syndergaard, no thanks. Not at 7,900 against a good Rays offense. Plesac, no. The White Sox aren't great against righties, but Plesac isn't very good, so not interested. Paul Blackburn, don't think he's crazy. You got Detroit coming home from Houston, but I've been decently impressed with what Blackburn's shown so far, even though I'm not really buying him long-term. Good spot here in Detroit, though, so he's not the craziest play, especially at that price point. Hendricks, no thank you. More interested in the Padres' bats. don't think that they're getting a ton of love at all, and I'm definitely interested in them here. Castellanos, no thanks. Gomber, nah. Pineda. I mean, listen, insert SP against Oakland here, but Pineda doesn't do it for me. Very cheap, so that's the one case you can make. Quintana, not against the Dodgers. Just can't do it. Flexen. He's cheap enough where I don't think he's crazy. Certainly not excited about him, but he's cheap where if you want to load up elsewhere, I don't hate it. And Springs is not going to go deep. So I'm building one lineup right now. In cash games, it's Rodon, Urias. I think in tournaments, I like Rodon. And Woodruff scares me a little bit because he just faced the Reds. He's elite, though, so give me Woodruff there. And then we'll figure out bats as we go. So as far as bats go, not a ton of great spots because there's a lot of good pitchers on the mound. It does look like the Diamondbacks are going to be popular and the Marlins are going to be popular in that same game. So whenever those teams are popular, it makes me like a slate more because those teams aren't very good. So when you got good teams that aren't getting a ton of love, it's appealing. All right, from a catcher standpoint, no one like Chalk. Chalk does look like Will Smith is getting the most love. Wouldn't be shocked to see him have the day off here. I know Barnes had a great game on Friday, I believe, facing a lefty here. Smith has been better against righties throughout his young career. Barnes has always been better against lefties, so it makes sense. And then I think Barnes looks good in cash games. Grandal starting to get going a little bit. I mean, he's been a hot and cold hitter throughout his career, so I don't hate taking the shot there. I'm not really a big Plesac fan. Sean Murphy always has upside. Tough matchup for them in Minnesota. He had been cold, got going after a day off yesterday. Don't mind him at all. The Padres catchers, whoever's in there, Nola or Alfaro hit a walk-off pinch hit 3-run homer when the Padres were losing 2-0 in the bottom of the ninth. So wouldn't be shocked to see him back in there. Is there any cheap guys I'm interested in? Not really. We'll have to wait and see lineups. The other guy I'll shout out in tournaments that I think is in play, even in a tough matchup. Wilson Contreras. I always like him against lefties. Balled against one on the 7th, tripled and homered. Always in play for me in tournaments when he's not going to get any love. First base, no real chalky play either. It does look like Freeman and Garrett Cooper are getting the most love. Freeman's been really good lately. Quintana doesn't scare me. Freeman crushes lefties. I doubt Quintana's in the game for that long, so he makes sense. Otani in a lefty matchup. I don't know how much love the Angels get. I don't mind them here. Definitely more of a tournament play for sure. Jose Abreu called him out like a few games ago. He's been better. They haven't been on a main slate in a couple of days. I don't mind him at all. The White Sox, again, against Plesac are intriguing a little bit. Ty France, price dropped down to 4,200 after he'd been really expensive. Cooled off for sure, but I like the Mariners stack a lot here. They've been good to me when I've been on them. I haven't been on them in a while. I like them here. I mentioned Garrett Cooper. See it. 2,800. Yeah, I mean, in cash games, I think the Marlins and Diamondbacks make a lot of sense. Jesus Aguilar, Christian Walker, Seth Beer. There's a lot of first base options there. All right, second base. Jazz looks like he's going to be the chalky second baseman here, having a monster year, especially for DFS purposes. Runs, leading the league in triples. Again, he steals a lot of bases, has power. With Miami getting love, I think he's your cash game guy. And then in tournaments, I like the Padres stack, so Cronenworth talked about the Mariners, so Adam Frazier, although he'll probably be dropped down. I guess Abraham Toro, who had a big game yesterday, he'll be in there. The Mariners are way too cheap here. I'm surprised they're not getting any love. And that works for me wanting to fit Two expensive pitchers for sure. Oh yeah, Ketel Marte started off the year really, really slow, has picked it up big time. So, double digits in what's that, 6 of 7? Yeah, he's cruising right now, running a little bit. He also looks good. I don't think you can go wrong with him at all. And then Brandon Lau also looking like he's going to get love. So in cash games, I think he's fine. And Colton Wong against Luis Castillo. I don't really want to pick on Castillo, but I don't think it's a crazy play either. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, sorry about that. And then we'll have to wait and see lineups if there's any like real cheapos that we want to get to. All right, third base. Jose Ramirez, even against Manoah yesterday, I mean, he's just having a monster year, averaging 11 plus DK points per game. Having an even a better year as Machado. I like the Padres here. Machado's always in play. Got rung up a couple of times yesterday on very questionable pitches. Had 2 singles in his other at bats. So, yeah, he's seeing the ball really well to start the year. Rendon against the lefty. I mean, who knows how long that lefty will be in the game, but walk-off hit for him. I like him. Suarez against the lefty. It's not that consistent, but has big power. Suarez on Suarez, definitely in play for me. Ooh. Damn, okay. Moncada's back. That makes me like the White Sox more. He's good. Definitely prefer him against right-handed pitching. Yeah, I'm a Moncada fan. He's going to be sliding into that 2-hole. I hope he's back tonight. Justin Turner's a guy that's getting love. 4,200 against Quintana here. Not having a great year, but good spot here. He makes sense. Talked about Toro already. Moustakas has been a lot better lately. I don't want to pick on Woodruff, but the Pirates or the Reds, excuse me, are really, really cheap. Moran had 2 homers yesterday. Again, I'm not like excited about them, but they will be unowned if you're like making a ton of lineups. All right, shortstop. I presume Trey Turner's going to go out of love because he always does. Yep, he's coming in as the chalk shortstop. He makes a lot of sense. I always prefer him against righties, but he's really good against everyone. Big-time power, speed, upside. Tim Anderson also getting love. He's been good lately. I've talked about the White Sox. He leads off for them, so always in play. If you like Tampa tonight, I don't think Tampa's crazy. Wander Franco is obviously, well, not obviously, but I think he's their best player all around, even right now. So he would be where I'd want to start there. Dylan Moore, presuming he makes the lineup. I think J.P. Crawford is still hurt. So I think against the lefty, they'll probably sit him again. Dylan Moore looks like a nice value play. Miguel Rojas is cheap. He works. Shortstop's pretty weak, which is why Trey Turner and Tim Anderson are getting love, and it makes sense. Again, Kim is better against right-handed pitching, so when that Padres stack, he works. And I mentioned Dylan Moore. All right, outfield. So chalky outfielders on this slate. I didn't even mention Dalton Varsho, catcher. He's like this. His eligibility has been catcher, outfield, just outfield. It like switches every day. He's the chalk catcher. I mean, I think in tournaments it's going to look different. Maybe you put him in the outfield. I don't love Arizona like that, but if you do, that makes sense. To differentiate yourself a little bit. Other guys getting love. Avisel Garcia, 3,300, getting a ton of love. He's been bad to start the year. I'm not excited about playing him. Luis Robert getting love. I've talked about the White Sox. They might be a little bit too popular for my liking, but yeah, I mean, these guys look good on paper, if nothing else, for sure. Jorge Soler getting love, not having a great year, but Marlins are in a good spot, so I get it. Austin Slater, leading off, presumably against a lefty. Probably will get pinch hit for, but easily could do damage early. And then Pavin Smith, all the Arizona guys, Mookie Betts getting a little bit of love. But Arizona, Miami, I think is where you really want to go. And then for me in tournaments, talked about the Padres. So, if Grisham's leading off, I like him. Profar in the middle of that lineup, I like him, and I like Seattle. So Julio Rodriguez, 3,400, hitting right in the middle of that lineup. Big power, speed, upside. Yeah, I'm a big fan. He's one of my favorite hitters on the slate. Okay, so Kyle Lewis is going to be back up for a minute. I have to wait and see their lineup, but I definitely like the Mariners outfield. Mariners and Padres, two teams I'm definitely looking at. And then the Phillies guys, they're not getting a lot of love either. So the last I checked, they had some pretty good outfielders. Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Castellanos. I like all those guys. So that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Short and sweet today, watching the baby, so don't want to take my sweet time. Yeah, if you guys got any questions, I'm around this afternoon. Holler at me. If you want more videos, more content, more info, more me, any of that stuff, go check out the DFS 5-pack. We'd love to have you. Let's crush this slate and have a great Monday, guys. Catch you on the flip side tomorrow. Thanks again. Let me stop sharing, and I'll be out of your face.